Over Christmas break this year, I took my family back home to Texas and we had a great visit with my parents. My mom had gotten a new car and my oldest daughter, Liza, she's 19, she borrowed the car and took her younger brother and sister to the mall to meet their cousins. And while they were gone, it was raining and I was a little nervous, so I was texting with my son Ace, like, hey, where are you guys? Did you make it yet? And the text messages I was getting back were a little bit cryptic, so I felt like something was going on. Something just felt a little off. Finally, Ace lets me know that they had arrived at the mall, but shortly after that, my oldest daughter, Liza, calls. And she says that Inslee, our youngest, wasn't feeling well, and could I talk to her? And I talked to Inslee, and she sounded upset, and it just, again, it didn't feel quite right. Something was off with this scenario. And then I talked with Liza again, and she said they might be coming home because Inslee thought she might throw up. Well, eventually they come back home, and when they came in the house, they didn't stop to say hello to my mom or dad or to me. They just kind of came straight through the garage, and they all marched in a line to a back bedroom. I looked at my parents and I said, something's up. So I went back there and got nothing out of them, and so I went to the youngest. She cracks the easiest. And I said, what's going on? And she starts to cry. And I'm like, listen, just whatever's going on, you can tell your dad, just lay it on me. And she goes, I would want to tell you, Dad, but I want Liza to be the one to tell you what happened. And I said, well, you can let me know anything. She goes, yes, but Liza wants to be the one to tell you. And I said, well, I can honor that. I said, but does it have something to do with the car? And she just kind of went, mm-hmm. I said, okay, all right, I'll talk to Liza. So I went in the bedroom and I found Eliza, and her makeup was kind of smeared and she had been crying, and I said, what happened? And she goes, I hurt Mimi's car, and you know what, I need to tell her, but I don't know how. And I said, hold on, like, what'd you do? And so she told me she turned a corner and turned it too sharply and hit a curb and something broke underneath. So I said, all right, wait here. So I grabbed the boy. I'm like, dude, Ace, why didn't you tell me what was going on? He said, well, Liza was upset and she wanted to be the one to tell you. So again, the siblings are connected, so I want to support that. I said, all right, well, come here, tell me what happened. He said, well, she hit a curb and something was broken underneath, and I pushed it back up. I said, all right, let's go out there, show me. So we go out, and my parents still aren't aware of what's going on, but we get under the car, and yeah, there's a little piece of metal hanging there, and I kind of pushed it back up. I said, well, let's go for a drive. So we drove, and the car's working fine. Everything's okay. There's no other damage on there. And I went in, I told my parents, because now they know something's going on. It's like, hey, Liza's going to talk to you, but something broke on the car. And I went to Liza, and she's so upset. And I said, hey, kid, listen, if there was ever a family in the world for you to have done something like this to a car, it's this family. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, just trust me. Go tell them what happened and watch what they do. So she says, okay. So it's my mom's brand new car, but she goes in and she says, I hit a curb, and this is what happened, starts to explain. Neither of them get up to go look at the car. They don't even mention the car. They say, of course, well, is everybody okay? Yes. Was there any other property damage? No. Are you rattled and shaken up? Yes. Okay, well, you're home safe now. And then my dad proceeds to tell her the story of the time when I borrowed his brand new truck when I was about her same age, and I took it out of town, and I got stuck in a parking garage and had to drag the back of the truck along a pillar. And I remember, personally, when it happened, what I did was I told my friends that were all with me, I'm like, I got to call my dad. And my friends were all going, no, he'll make us come home. And I said, no, I need to tell him. And I remember calling my dad. I said, Dad, I hurt your truck. I wrecked it. He asked me, was everybody okay? I said, yes. Was there any other property damage? No. He said, well, okay, be safe, and we'll look at it when you get home. And when I got home, we went out and looked at it. He said, well, we'll fix this. And we did, sort of. we buffed it out, we put a little paint on it, but it was never the same. And every time I walked past that truck, I saw that it was broken. And I remember, my dad saying, it's not a big deal. My dad was telling my daughter that story, and he said, it wasn't even damaged. There was really barely anything on it. And I said, Dad, what are you talking about? I said, the whole side of the truck was scratched up. Every time I walked past it, I saw it and I remembered. And he goes, I never noticed. I don't know whether he was telling the truth or not. But he said, I never noticed. I noticed all the time. You know, that's the thing we do, you know. We make these mistakes and we make a wreck out of our lives. And, you know, we're afraid to go to God and say, hey, I messed up, you know. But see, he really is that kind of father that forgets our sins. He chooses to. So why are we still holding on to him? Why are we carrying so much guilt, so much shame, so much baggage? Yeah, there may be some scars there, but those are just great reminders of God's wonderful love for you and how he redeems us and gives us another chance. So get back out there and get on with living and trust your God, because he loves you and he's entrusted this life to you.